Alrighty guys, what's up? Today we are in Bali, Indonesia. Now for any of you guys who have been watching my channel for a little bit, you would know that Bali is kind of like the antithesis to the types of places that I like to go and that I make videos about, and it's kind of against all the philosophy that I've ever had about picking travel places in many ways. And I gotta say, after being here, I might be making a complete 180 on that. I even kind of surprised myself a little bit by being here. If you were to ask me 2 or 3 days before I came here if I was going to be in Bali, I wouldn't have expected to. I kind of just, I've been thinking about it for a little bit. For the first time, it's sort of, the idea planted its seed in my head. The more I've been like posting on Instagram. By the way, if you only follow me on YouTube, my Instagram is, I think, actually more my focus at the moment. I started seeing more and more people that I had followed and that were all seeming to come here or be here at least one time. And like I said, it's always been this antithesis of everything that I've liked in traveling. But one of the things that I'm realizing is that I think a lot of the criticisms of places like this are coming from a place of insecurity in a lot of ways, or take some sort of like artificial moral high ground. Oh, like that place is awful, like it has all these tourists, and I'm like an authentic traveler, and I only go places where everyone else around me is like 10 times poorer than me, so I can be worshipped. Like, sorry, that's a little bit harsh, but I think that is happening quite a bit. And to be fair, I think I was thinking in that way as well. I wasn't explicitly thinking it, but in a lot of the places that I was going to, but yeah, I did like the fact that there were really authentic experiences, like being in Pereira, Colombia, or being in like these random villages in Argentina, or random villages on the coastlines of Brazil, or being in Ukraine during the war. These places that no one else is going to at the time. You have some really out there experiences, but even when you're surrounded by people in those places, you are still alone. And what I mean by that is you could even make friends there, and I know guys that even have families there in places like Argentina or Colombia, and they always still feel like an outsider, because they kind of are. You're never quite gonna fully, if you're not around people that are on the same wavelength as you. A lot of these desires that I think we, as a particularly like Western men, uniquely have, like this whole desire to make money on the internet or travel the world or do these certain things, I think a lot of other cultures, they don't really fully understand it. Not that they need to, because there's a lot of cons, I think, that comes with that as well. And that's the biggest theme of this video, is being around others who are on the same wavelength and are doing the same thing as you. And it's something I think I always took for granted. I wish while traveling I took it seriously before. But getting back to the criticisms of these places, some of them are valid, I will grant that. But for instance, I saw a reel of someone posted, like, they did the panoramic of a gym in Bali, and they're like, don't come to Bali if you want to feel like fit or in shape or beautiful or attractive or something like that, because the point was like everyone else, it was like a gym just like full of like people that were like fit and super attractive. And you know, a lot of them are doing really cool things. Like, you'll run, if you go to a relatively high-end gym here, you'll run into YouTubers or whatever that you met. I've already seen it happen. And the comments were all just, oh, what is this, colonialism? What is this, gentrification? Like, look at all these white people together. And I think I realized when I saw that, it clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, a lot of this hatred of places that are touristy or overpriced or whatever, a lot of times it's just the same criticism, the same like woke criticism of this hatred of anything that's beautiful. To be fair, a lot of these people, some of them can be, I'm assuming, fake. And I'm not going to pretend that this is like paradise and that I'm going to live here forever. I have a honeymoon phase with a lot of places that I go to, and like anywhere, you start to see the cons the more time you spend there. But being here, my first impressions is, no, a lot of them maybe have some stupid like woke or liberal beliefs for sure, but like a lot of times, like, they're not. Like, a lot of times they're just like, some of them are pretty based, some of them are really smart, some of them have really created a lot of leverage in their lives, where it's one of the most supreme ways you can live. You have the beach, you have the best, most freshest food, it's the easiest place to eat healthy. You can do yoga, hit the sauna, you have jiu-jitsu, you have endless stuff that you can do. You get your work done alongside all that stuff, and you're doing it in this like healthy, relaxed state, being surrounded by a bunch of other people that have just this completely other like wavelength and frame of mind. And it's, you know, it's beautiful. And people, I think a lot of times they hate beauty, and they hate particularly the type of people that come from a certain part of the world around Europe originally. And there's a lot of resentment towards those people, because anything that's ugly conjures up a lot of resentment towards that, which is beautiful. You're gonna have to read between the lines a little bit in terms of what I'm saying. One of the things I wish I really took maybe a little more seriously when I was younger and just getting started with traveling is paying a bit more attention to my network and the people that I was surrounded by. And if you're trying to be a digital nomad, I think you really need that in a lot of ways, because if you're out there and you're trying to do one of these things, you need to bounce your ideas off of people. You need to, if you're thinking of a certain project that you're doing, most likely you're not unique. There's dozens of other people that have already done the project that you're thinking of, and they've already run into the problems that you're inevitably going to run into. And so you have the ability to just get there way quicker. You have to focus so much more on being around people that are, I think, on the same wavelength as you. And I think that at the end of the day, like, there's this hatred of people that are, you know, colonialists or whatever. They're honestly just making it better. Like, I'm sorry, but they're making all these places better. They would not invest into some of the infrastructure of some of these places if it weren't for these influencers or whatever bringing in at least some money into the country. And they don't really do anything wrong. Like, Europeans or influencers or the Western, you know, dig nomad types, they're not like, they're just relatively all pretty cool people, like, when you actually talk to them. Now the libs, you gotta like kind of put them in check a little bit. But anyways, that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you, so look, if you are, you know, someone who's like, oh, I hate places like that, just, I don't know, I'd think about it, to be honest. Are you traveling to a place because it's legitimately the best thing for you? Or are you just traveling to a place because you want to feel like a little bit better about yourself, by being, you know, kind of sheltered off from the Western world? And at the end of the day, like, the Western world is kind of the coolest. There's a lot of problems with it, but wherever it's being taken right now in some of these, you know, colonial ventures, I think, are actually pretty dope. So we'll see how long we're going to be here. Like I said, it's a honeymoon phase right now. We'll see how long the honeymoon phase lasts. And if you're in Bali, you can hit me up on Instagram. That's it for now. Drop a like, subscribe. Peace.